Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2022 Pagani Huayra R. Now this was introduced in 2021. It's a track-only version of the Huayra and is a successor to the Zonda R. Only 30 of these will be made, each costing around $3 million, so not cheap at all. And yeah, it's a lot more flamboyant and a lot more mad than your typical, racing version or track version of a standard road car. Whereas the likes of Ferrari and McLaren will stick a wing or two on it and maybe bump up the power a little bit or anything like that. This has just gone one step further, and yeah, it's a pretty amazing looking vehicle, to be honest. It's got a whole heap of carbon fibre on it, so it only weighs 2,447 pounds, which is 89 pounds less than the Zonda R that it replaces. And yeah, it's got a whole heap of power as well from its engine, which we'll see now. So yeah, even though this is pretty much the same size as the standard Huayra, and it still has 12 cylinders, it's actually an engine that was built from the ground up, which means it has no turbochargers like the Huayra. Instead, it's a naturally aspirated 6-litre V12 engine, producing a gigantic 838 horsepower and 553 pounds-feet of torque. So yeah, that's a huge amount of power going on there, especially since it's only going for the rear wheels, and yeah, it doesn't weigh very much either. So yeah, that is 99 horsepower more than the Zonda R, and 30 extra pounds-feet of torque as well. So not only is it lighter than the Zonda R that it's replacing, but it's also way more powerful. And yeah, it's a typical racing car interior. You got your bucket seats, you got all your harnesses, you got the many buttons on the steering wheel and on the dashboard. You've got a bit of exposed wiring, and yeah, you've obviously got the roll cage and all of that. So yeah, all typical on the inside, but yeah, it's all there for obvious reasons of safety and usability and all that lot. And yeah, as you can see on the outside, the aerodynamics have been tweaked as well. So it's got a massive front splitter, it's got a huge rear wing, and yeah, not much else in the terms of bodywork. So yeah, it's been very stripped back. It's nowhere near the the luxury hypercar that the standard car is. It is a full-blown track car. So yeah, let's nonetheless get out there and see what this car can do. So yeah, even though it is obviously a track car, this still is a quick car in a straight line, especially in terms of acceleration. So let's see how quick by getting on this drag strip. See what we can do when we hit the speed camera, and then we'll hoon it around the track where it belongs. So yeah, let's use the launch control. Bang! It's a little bit slippery out here today, but yeah, this car's more than able to deal with it. And as you can see, it's got active aero on it as well, just like the standard Huayra has, although this will be even more downforce. Yeah, 178 miles an hour. That's easily one of the fastest cars that we've had down here in terms of reviewing it. But yeah, it is a little bit slippy, as you can see. So yeah, this rear-wheel drive madman of a car really does struggle in the wet, especially with these tyres on, because they're obviously not wet tyres, or meant for wet conditions. But still, yeah, that's easily one of the fastest cars down the drag strip that we've had. You'd have to go into electric hypercar territory to get any faster than that, I imagine. So yeah, let's get to the track, take a look at the stats that this has going on before we hoon it around some more. So yeah, just a quick note, I like the way that the brakes are integrated into the rear of the car. Obviously, being a track car, it's not beholden to typical road regulations, so they can stick those brake lights wherever they want, and it doesn't matter. So yeah, we're in top end of S2 class. We've not been up here for a while, and yeah, as you can see by the stats, all pretty damn great. The launch isn't the best, but then the launch on a race isn't the most integral part of a race, so you generally do compromise on the launch with a racing car. But yeah, the speed, acceleration and handling and braking are all excellent, and yeah, even though the stat for the handling isn't quite as good as on the Zonda R, as you'll see when we get it around the track and when I talk about some more of the stats, it is actually better. So yeah, let's see what this car can do around the track, where it's quite frankly belongs in more ways than one. So yeah, but as per usual, we'll take a listen to how the car sounds first, and then we'll talk about it some more. So let's see what this naturally aspirated V12 sounds like. So yeah, it sounds absolutely amazing. Like with the brake lights, it's obviously not beholden to noise regulation, so yeah, like the Zonda R, the V12 in this is absolutely ballistic. It's easily probably one of the most loud engines on the game by far. So yeah, and that power is, well, that noise is obviously generating all of that power, or is a byproduct of that power, and yeah, that means that this can do 0 to 60 in 2.683 seconds, 0 to 104.784 seconds, and go to a top speed of 226 miles an hour, which is, yeah, far faster in terms of acceleration than the Zonda R. Not by a huge amount, but definitely by a noticeable amount, and yeah, it's about 4 mile an hour quicker at the top end, which is, despite the fact that this is producing more downforce, which is accentuated by the fact that this can pull 1.75 of a G at 60 mile an hour, and 2.21 G in at 120 miles an hour, whereas the Zonda R can do 1.74 G at 60 and 2.18 G in at 120 miles an hour. So yeah, definitely providing more in the way of downforce, and yeah, this is pretty flawless in terms of its driving, quite frankly, as you can see. So yeah, really enjoyable. In fact, we're going to go around for a third lap because I'm enjoying this that much. And obviously it does not take very long to get round a lap on this, less than a minute at best. So yeah, we'll actually take a look at the inside while we're here. So yeah, there's your LCD screen. You've got your lights at the top of that to tell you when to change gear, as if you can't hear that when you need to change gear, but then again it was rated to 9,000 RPM, so yeah, it doesn't ever really sound like you need to change gear, so yeah, it's absolutely ballistic in terms of speed. And yeah, the brakes are really good as well, as you'd expect for a car that weighs as little as this. And yeah, it's just all around really great. So yeah, I'm not typically a massive fan of track cars, but when they go all out with doing something like this, you know, rebuilding a completely new engine just for 30 cars and sounding as great as this and being as fun to drive, yeah, I can definitely get on board with a track car when it's like this. So yeah, you can get this car in the racing car pack, which features 3 other cars. We've got the Celine sport truck in there, the Lotus Emira, and then a Forsberg racing version of a Nissan Altima, which is, yeah, not a car I will be reviewing because it is only really a drift car, but you will see that in other episodes on this game in some other form. So yeah, but still, this car is absolutely glorious, and yeah, well worth getting the car pack for, especially since the Lotus Emira and the Celine Sport Truck are also really rather excellent cars. But yeah, nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.